Buried at the bottom of reams of legal documents filed as part of the Purdue Pharma bankruptcy case is a single-spaced list that goes on for more than a dozen pages. It details hundreds of individuals, companies, trusts and other organizations, including financial advisors, public relations firms, law firms, lobbyists, drug makers and laboratories. If members of the Sackler family who own Purdue Pharma get their way, everyone on the list will win sweeping immunity from civil lawsuits linked to the family's activities, the sale of OxyContin, or Purdue Pharma's other operations. This demand by the Sacklers for a legal firewall surrounding themselves and their sprawling network has emerged as a flashpoint in the federal bankruptcy trial now underway in White Plains, NY. "We need a release from liability that is sufficient to get our goals accomplished," testified David Sackler, one of Purdue Pharma's owners and a board member until 2018. According to Sackler, who has denied wrongdoing linked to the opioid crisis, his family will contribute roughly $4.3 billion to Purdue Pharma's bankruptcy settlement. But Sackler indicated they will only make the payments if they and their associates receive global peace from liability for a public health crisis that has killed more than 500,000 people in the U.S. alone. "If the release fails to do that, we will not support it," he said. If this deal is finalized, it will likely never be known what role the various Sackler associates played or why they might desire legal immunity. The list is so expansive it includes catch-all groups of entities and individuals not identified by name. Purdue Pharma's aggressive and at times illegal marketing of OxyContin, a prescription pain medicine introduced in the late 1990s, is widely seen as a major spur of the opioid epidemic. Facing a tsunami of lawsuits linked to the medication, the Sacklers' privately owned company filed for Chapter 11 protection in 2019. Members of the Sackler family have said repeatedly they did nothing unlawful or unethical and were unaware of any wrongdoing by Purdue Pharma executives. The Sacklers have never been charged with any crimes. Much has been written about the fact that if this deal is finalized, members of the family will walk away from the opioid epidemic with a clean legal slate, and will retain much of their personal wealth. None of the Sacklers have filed for bankruptcy. Far less is known about the other individuals and entities that would also be sheltered from opioid lawsuits under the deal. Purdue Pharma executive Jon Lowne testified last week he was unable to identify those included on the list. "I'm not familiar with all the names of the entities or of the unnamed parties," he said. Lowne acknowledged it would be difficult for those who say they were harmed by Purdue Pharma's illegal OxyContin marketing schemes to identify those on the list. "If I'm not able to, they would not be able to," Lowne said.